mortals, capable of mistakes. The journey's not here to be agonized
upon. Welcome, Immortalites, to another round of the monthly goals. Yes, indeed, this is the self-explanatory episode where myself, Kyrin,
and Juan over here.
And Juan, we dive deeper into our goals that are coming up. We have a look at the month that just was, what's coming up for the next month, and then also have a little bit of an analysis of some fitness stuff right towards the end. So let's just jump into it, Juan. Well, today we're recording on Wednesday, 38th of May. What have you been doing this last month, and have you achieved your goals?
Yep, so if people want to refer back to them from the monthly goals, and I mean, quite predominantly, there was a big thing, which was baby arriving, baby getting here. So I've got them in front of me. I only had 4, and I didn't even achieve all of them. I achieved 3 of them, which was basically be attentive to the baby, aiming to be doing Duolingo during the downtime, which I did a lot of that, which I was surprised about. And one that was probably over the top that I achieved was in the month of May, I basically wrote, in this month, just be content with stretching at home and recovering. Now, I wrote that goal pre-baby arriving, in my doorstep, theoretically. But I was totally expecting, that I wouldn't be at all training, if much. I'd have to just confirm this number. I think apart from planned days off, I had 1 day off from the gym.
Oof, nice.
So I'm incredibly impressed by that. That worked in my favor. The one that I didn't achieve, and it was probably because I was training a lot more often, I had put down one of aiming for fasting for 4 days, longer than 14 hours per week, and that just didn't eventuate. Now, that was both the reality of having a baby and probably just when you're eating and when you're tired and everything else in between, but also I was also training, and so that was more of a goal that I was setting in place, largely because I didn't think I would be training and it would be an easier thing to do in terms of how I would eat and control my eating. So didn't achieve that one, but to be honest, that was fine because the number one goal of still continuing my training was still around, which was good.
For sure. How would you say your French is going? It's been a while since we've had an update on that.
On the what? Sorry, you say it again?
On your French.
Look, it's progressing. I've noticed that there's a threshold that I've reached. I think I'm on the intermediate level or whatever that's called on the Duolingo front. I would say that my reading comprehension is fairly good at a general words level. So if I was to see quite regular wording like shirts, food, time, talking about the day, talking about going somewhere, directions, I'm pretty okay with that. And I would almost say I'm okay with the speaking. Still, and you know this with language learning, it'll be the comprehension of someone talking to me. I obviously haven't been doing that a single bit. So look, there's probably a good call out that might be something I need to do in the future to try to solidify the actual conversation. And it might be that me conversing with people or just plain up, just listening to French podcasts, French videos. So honestly, it's going okay for what it's been at the moment, which for me, ultimately for the annual goal was see if I can complete the French Duolingo. And obviously there's been shifts to Duolingo and now that's become incredibly hard to do. However, so I'll probably still stick that to the annual goal and then see where we go from there. If it's am I happy, leave it there and go for another language, or double down and continue with it? So
yeah,
we'll see.
You should message the Duolingo Twitter account because they will absolutely roast you for they'll be like, yeah, we changed it all up just to mess up your
just to mess with goal. Just to mess with your goals. I'm sure they would. So, those were the May goals.
Beautiful. All right, mine was relatively easy. It was one of those kind of months where I just have off and from the goal setting, and I just wrote work harder. Did I actually work harder? Questionable.
Now, when you wrote down as well, I thought, man, that is a shit goal if I ever heard one in the generality. It's not specific, it's not measurable.
Not smart.
All those things. But I think it's right. You have to have some of those looser months and couple of months sometimes, as in, hey, there's just a lot of things going on. You got to just try your best. That's really what you can only do.
Especially when it's kind of like life stuff gets in the way a little bit. So I think this is just a good call out. We structure our monthly goals that they link to an annual one. So you've got your 3 and your mind, body, and soul. I've got my kind of 8, which hit a bunch of different categories. And there's just times when it's okay, I need to really look at the podcast and our website, for example. That's not in any of my goals.
Mm.
Where do I fit that in? Do I just chuck in some random extra ones, or do I, lessen some others so that I'm kind of playing lip service to German, for example, and really be working on this other thing?
Mm.
I don't know. Sometimes I think it's just useful to just go, okay, kind of a little bit of a clean slate. Worked out well. I got sick for a bit. I've, winter's coming in, and so I just kind of get miserable anyway. So I think it was kind of nice to have a little kind of like relaxed one. And now I'm kind of fired up for what's actually coming up in June. So yeah, I think it
And that's
I
what I
think
mean.
it served its
They
purpose.
serve their purpose. Exactly. They serve their purpose. So,
Yeah,
okay.
definitely.
So, I mean, no specific call out that you would say from the May of, hey, did you see yourself actually working harder at things? Was there a particular thing that you were happy that you accomplished?
One thing I think I'm reasonably happy with over the last couple of weeks is just getting my mentality sorted, I think, a little bit.
Okay.
For those who were following the podcast probably the last month or two, you were seeing I was kind of complaining a little bit more. I was beating myself down a bit. And honestly, I think I was working too hard at going out and trying to meet girls. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm following a more provident type thing. Just when it happens, it happens. And you'll see this also
We'll see
reflected
it
in
in
this next, where it's
the June goals.
not me kind of like hitting the streets. It's more me doing my other stuff and trying to change up my own lifestyle so that I'm just naturally more around women and more just these kind of easier opportunity. I'm just putting less pressure on myself, to be honest. So I'm not trying to force things as hard as I was.
Okay,
And then
good. Well,
chuck in
good to hear.
all your innuendo from that.
All right. Well, let's transition into the June goals then.
First of all, I just want to give a shout out to the supporters for this month. We've like I was saying, we're working on the website, so that is fixed up. In comparison, it's still not 100% where I want it to be, but it's looking a lot tastier. I can see you put your training stuff in. It's just all the small things. I changed the icons in the top right, put a little bit of color.
I did see that.
I changed your training and just made things, I think, a little bit more clear. So it's value for value, show, and then support. And yeah, we just had some really, really good support for this month. I haven't captured it yet. Tomorrow is when I will note down all the boosts that we got in, kind of tally things up. But Peter jumped back in. Chris has been boosting in pretty big. I see Adam has as well. A couple of new faces as well. It's been a really encouraging month.
Exactly. No, it has been good. I mean, tuning for people who want to see the specifics of a lot of those is, we talk about it during the musings episodes, and we go through those boostgrams in detail as well if you want to see what those individuals are commenting through.
Yep, and I sent off Adam's t-shirt to him. I got a message from Australia Post that it's arrived in America, so hopefully it'll be arriving at his PO box soon. And so yeah, awesome. Just to call out for anyone who's wanting some Mere Mortal swag, you got to earn it. Can't just get it. You got to earn it. You got to earn it through.
We don't even send it just by default to Adam. He's got to earn it.
Yeah, exactly. Not even the podfather. So, if you want to know more about that, go on to meremortalspodcast.com/support, and you will see how you can grab one of those shirts if you're so inclined. So yeah, sweet. You mentioned the June goals. What have you got coming up?
Yeah, the June goals. So now the June goals slightly different to May, obviously, because there's no expectation of a delivery of a baby. So there's more surety of what can I actually plan for. So I've got quite a few. I've got 8, 2 in the body, 4 in the mind, 2 in the soul. So the 2 body ones are, I want to create a daily view of my training. So there's attempting to follow for the months using the hard work pays off template that they utilize. So for those people who might not be aware, from my perspective, I think I've been tracking.
Just to call that is Matt Fraser's
correct.
Something.
That's Matt Fraser's hard work pays off app / training sort of protocol where you can follow a whole different series of different sort of training attempts.
Yeah, and Matt Fraser's a CrossFit kind of athlete.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct. Now, I was following that for 2 months or so before baby arrived, just to give it a bit of a whirl, and I like the difference behind it. I want to get back to almost programming my own training, and you'll see what we've been talking about with the training and the website and stuff like that. But specifically, I went, At this stage, when I used to put the details of what things I was doing for training, I would write them down to a good level of detail, but not a very precise level of detail, nor was it a very thorough look into exactly how I was training. Part of that was just I was enjoying it. After seeing and progressing with that hard work pays off app, I went, hey, I could actually step up the way I detail my programs to make them, one, funner, two, more detail. And I really enjoy it when I get into that level of detail. Like I just find it enjoyable. So for me, I'm going to try this particular month to focus on that. And I'll actually jump to number 5 on my list here, which is I'm trying to attempt from a mind perspective, follow that up and actually document it and publish it so that anybody in the world can see. So I've talked about it on the podcast before. There's the website pushjerk.com. And if you go to it, there's whoever's running it has basically a per day, and I think there's 5 workouts per week type of deal where people can follow it along and, not asking to pay anything. They run advertising on the page and also for people to be able to buy like apparel. But apart from that, it's just presenting training. And if you want to follow it, you can follow it. Now I did some digging and I figured out that roughly that website gets about 3,000 to 4,000 unique views a month. Now, that's not the goal. I'm not putting a goal for what I'm doing here. But from my perspective was, again, I had this mindset of, I'll create an app. I'll be able to do this. I'll be able to charge it.
Create an app.
And, now,
I just find that so hilarious because I'm watching, I've been chatting with Sam Sethi. I've been looking at Fountain over the last, 2 years and how they've, created these podcasting apps. I'm in their support and Telegram groups. It's so much work, man. It's so much work.
Absolutely. And like I was going to say, look, I know it's going to be a bit of work. It would be so much work. Like it'd be so much. And again, with what time? So in the end, I kind of decided, hey, how about I just exactly what I'm training, I will just publish that with a bit of a delay, like a week delay, so I can add extra notes into it on the website. And then if anybody finds that useful, cool. Trial along. I think I'll put it in there at the very top as well if people want to subscribe to something to see if there's going to be more. What I eventually, in my mind, it would be, and I think I've done a bit of a cost calculation. It's, hey, if it reaches, I think it was like 100 and something people that subscribe to say, hey, I want to see a more detailed thing. Cool. We'll put it through an app. By the way, I'll be clear, not that I will build an app out of scratch. There is apps already existing which you can create essentially white label usage of fitness training. So hard work pays off. And for people who don't know this, that app and others like it, they use a template of, blanking on the name right now, but I can probably, I'll bring it up as I'm talking through here so I can tell you. But they use a platform that basically helps them create the app rather than they themselves like servicing and maintaining it. So I would just be able to reuse that and put my level detail. So it's Fitter, FITR, is an application. Well, sorry, an already built app, and they maintain it. So rather than me maintaining it, they wouldn't create it. I'll just put the details. So if we were to reach to a certain level of people wanting it, then I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, I'll create that and let's do it as a value for value. When I'll see if I can figure out whether it's payments via, not Lightning Network maybe or fiat. Again, specifically for this month, I just want to document it and just see, hey, do we get more traction of people coming to the website? If not, I'll just continue to do it for who knows, but at least personally, there's an overarching goal that's helping me.
Okay. So I've got some thoughts on this. Maybe it's best discussed off air and some additional things. Yeah.
Cool. So a few of the other goals. So I want to focus on food this month as a topic where I can find it and seek it out. So this specifically means I was doing this quite a few months ago, stopped slightly. I want to revamp the focusing a month to a specific topic or set of topics so that I can almost bathe myself in it more than just the general abundance of information that I get. So I'm picking food from a podcasting, reading, articles, etc. It doesn't mean that I won't listen to something if I find it interesting from a Tim Ferriss or something else, but it means, and I've got a stack of podcasts now that I just wouldn't be able to keep up with even like the latest things. So I'll be making conscious decisions that if it's not about food and food, health, longevity, etc., then I'll go and seek it out elsewhere. So that's that aspect of it. Another one is I want to do 3. I like doing this one, 3 minimum Duolingo classes before I can even train. So I like setting this up so it's you have to do this particular thing before you can go and do something that you really enjoy. So I like those ones. It really helps me out in doing it. I want to try to attend one networking or learning event Now I've got one scheduled for the 8th of June, next Thursday. So that would be awesome if I can make it. Just putting in the time and putting in the effort to make it to that. If not, though, I'll see if I can attend another one throughout the month. It's just about trying to, getting back to the, I won't say the normal way of being, but the new way of life.
Mm-hmm.
And also want to create a book review for Ryan Holiday's latest discipline book, The Discipline is Destiny. So I really want to, and specifically, I want to make it really way over edited in quality, high quality for clipping and whatnot. So we've talked about this as well, and maybe even change the way that I'm even structuring the book review itself.
Yep.
So if you don't know, folks, Kyrin's been getting some wonderful messages about some of the latest books that he does, which, again, haters going to hate, but also it's just a lot of conversations in there.
In particular, it's just the shorts that I've been creating. And if you write anything with communist in it,
you're gonna get something. Yeah,
it whichever way you
it comes out. And the last two, I want to review and tweak my overall eminent human being notes. I haven't done this for a very long time. These are the ones that I created back in 2019. I just want to really review if the long terms are still quite present. Obviously, when I wrote them, I envisioned to have kids one day, but I don't think they're particularly in there quite deeply. So I think I want to just tweak it to make sure that's all called in as much as there's a reality to how I'm going to be structuring monthly goals into the future and annual goals. And finally, so there's the 8th one. I want to set up a date, I guess, if you want to call it this, with my significant other. Now, I was actually talking to her about this just before, and it's going to be at home. Like, it's not going to be out somewhere because we're still going to have the baby. Baby's still going to be too young for us to really leave it with someone. But, it's all about making quite specific amount of time to have a pretty deep conversation about topics, life, and the things. One of the things that you'll find quite often, I think new parents will find this, is you can very easily lose yourself in you are now a parent versus you are the individual that was before. So it is hard, and like much harder work than you would imagine beforehand of, hey, you got to take the time, sit down, make sure food's sorted, make sure you got time sorted. So if whatever happens, you've got ideal time to have those conversations. So making sure to take that time for it as well. So those are the eight goals for June. So happy that I'm stepping up from the 4 and the 3 and the 5 that I've had for a while to a few more now on the platter. So
sounds good, man. I'm keen as. All right, so
what about yourself?
I'm jumping into my normal 8, which link up to my yearly goals, and those are, if you type in Mere Models 2023 goals, something like that, in your podcast app, hopefully that would show up. But what I can tell you is, so number 1, I'm going to work on a grounded, sustainable confidence. So if you remember before, all of these goals were like get out and do X amount of hours or X amount of approaches or things like that. Yep. Now I think it's more, I'm kind of comfortable with how much I'm approaching. Like I'll talk to girls in the gym. Got a Colombian girl's number the other day just from randomly chatting with her. And it didn't require kind of impetus. So what I'm more focusing on now is just, the confidence, so that when I walk out in the day, I'm kind of like exuding it. It's just coming out of me.
Cool.
So and sustainable one as well. Not the type where it's like you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, you're the fucking best. Come on, Kyrin. Like you're the awesome. Like think of all these things. That is helpful every now and then, but it's not sustainable. You can't keep that up. This one here is related to community building and things like that. What I've discovered just over this past year of trying to, kick things off with the podcasting, for example, and, maintaining this Brisbane podcasters group. What I've found is I actually don't enjoy one where it is like a lot of pressure on me to organize things, to make sure people are coming, to have maybe an agenda or stuff like that. I'm not that big into it. So what I've written here is organize a casual drink with the new community. So in particular, I'm probably going to reach out to the V friends here in Australia. Mm-hmm. If you've heard all of Juan's stories from him going to VCon and whatnot, I think that would be kind of cool to try and organize that group and just see if we can, I don't know, just have casual drinks. Just say like, here's a bunch of people who all have a common connection. Let's just meet up. So there's that one. I'm going back to a couple of classics here. So for the crypto things, I'm going to Bitcoin event tomorrow, Bitcoin meetup. But I'm just want to go back to the basics. So I had this 2 months ago, read the 3 white papers of or kind of like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano. I'd like to just try and get to them again and see what they have to offer for more experienced eyes coming back in. I've got for the because it's winter, I'm not going to be stretching as much. This is well-known fact. So I'm basically just doing bits and pieces here and there, just trying to maintain my splits or as much of them as I have. So instead, I've just said go to 4 classes of some sort. So it could be yoga, could be a dance one, could be whatever. Just go to 4 classes. For the one, just to create some memorable moments, I've written here, start opening with random shit. So just talk a bit more shit. Just say a bit more weird things. Just try and be a bit more spontaneous, I suppose, when I'm chatting with people. And this could be with anyone. Doesn't even need to be like with girls or anything. Just, meeting
Just
up
in
with
general.
friends or something. Just being like, start telling a story of some random stuff, whatever. I have done almost 0 German in this last month. The most I did was overhear some girl at the gym speaking in German.
Talking. Okay.
So I'm trying to get back into one of the regular things, which was driving. And so no more radio. It's only if I get in the car, it's either listening to German or nothing. That's
Okay.
basically that.
Nice.
So have downloaded some podcasts and I've got that going. Last one's here, improve some eye contact and assertiveness. So this is just fixing some bad habits. And I will probably even add into that right now, focus a lot more on the podcasting vernacular and check out the episode that just came out before this on avoiding the superfluous. Man, there's a lot of superfluous talk and ums and ers and clickings. And I've noticed one in particular, a new thing, which I never realized that I did before. I don't want to say it particularly because once you hear it, you cannot unhear it. It is just.
Oh, go on! No, you got to share it now. You got to share it. The mere
Okay.
mortal out there need to know now.
If you check out the Chris Fisher interview, last chance to not ruin it for yourself. If you check that out, after every time that he says something and it's my turn to speak, I start off with yeah. Every single time,
okay.
man. Once you hear
that's
it,
like your.
can't
That's
unhear it.
like the filler to continuation of the conversation.
Basically, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And-
Yep.
And the last one here is establish a priority order of. Oh, sorry. Oh, geez. Establish a priority order of all podcast tasks. So I've got an idea of roughly what needs to be done in the next 3 months, but I haven't ordered it particularly. And I'll probably get some of your input on that of what do we think will have the most impact and trying to be a bit more strategic, I suppose, with what we're doing here. So yeah, those are my monthly goals, man.
Nice. I like it. I like that you're going back into some more structure against the actual mapping. And I honestly think the shift over to, like as you said, going and doing yoga and dancing classes or something like that to that effect, but also almost stepping back to probably the avalanche of expectation of continuous approaching, I think it'll probably pay dividends. I honestly think, and it won't see it in the short term, but I reckon in the medium term, all of a sudden it'll be like, oh, wow, look at all these opportunities and differences that it had.
Agreed. Here's another one that just happened today. There was a girl I went on a date with, 9 months ago, something like that. I saw her again at the gym and we're just chatting and not even in a sexual manner or anything. I'm just like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm planning on going to a dance class. We kind of connected over dancing for the first time. I'm going to go to one, not tomorrow, but next Thursday. I'll have some other friends with me. If you want to come along. And she seemed keen. So it was just one of those ones where it's straight up. If I was just at the gym more, that probably would have happened a while ago. So
exactly, yeah, okay, no, nice, man. I like it. Yeah. I like those goals. So I guess those are June goals for both of us.
Yep. So now, the fitness one. What exactly are you trying to aim for at the moment? What's your
this is the thing. So I think before we get into your fitness piece, I have a feeling that the way that I'm now structuring the fitness and obviously putting it out front in the website as well will probably lend itself that there is quite a high likelihood I will have fitness challenges again on a yearly basis. So,
Okay, cool.
be on the lookout for that, given that my yearly goals get renewed on August. So
Yeah, not
really,
far away.
it's about 60 days away
2
basically
months,
for
yeah.
that. So that'll be really cool. So I'll have to put some good time towards that. But from a fitness perspective, for me, it's been amazing that I've been able to get back to working out. That has been awesome. And now the goal is not sure in the sense of, am I focusing on one thing in particular? Look, at the moment I'm running, for people who want to know specifics, the Hatch Squat 12-week program plus a sort of a variation of doing quite heavy rowing / conditioning to improve conditioning in general. And I'm talking like fitness wise / engine wise of performing. So that's the general focus. But I think there'll be more specifics as we go along over the next year or two or beyond. I think I've got some ideas in mind, but I've got to structure them down. What about yourself for the fitness goals? Have you accomplished any more of the points?
I have been. So
Okay.
I did, and I recorded it as well. So I've started recording a lot of my sets again. Just because I'm in a real new round of kind of everything. Everything is kind of new. I'm doing some exercises I've never done before, particularly related to planche and to some kind of back bending holds, which I thought I wouldn't get into, kind of Mexicans, if you know what that is, if you want to look up a Mexican handstand. And I was just recording, I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to record all of my stuff that I'm doing today. And so, yeah, I got 5 pistol. I did it in the correct order. So 5 dragon squats on each leg, followed by 5 prisoner pistol squats, which are much, much harder with your arms behind your back. And yeah, I got them. I think I got them to the extent that I'm happy with.
Happy to qualify them.
My foot certainly brushed against the floor of multiple reps, for example. Does that take away? I didn't put any weight on it. Is literally just foot brush on the floor. If I was pedantic, I would get into it, but I went, nah, you know what? I think this is good, and I'm kind of just getting really bored of them as well. So
Yeah.
I got to a good stage.
Be like, fine, tick it off, just move on.
Yep. Everything else, it's a weird stage for me right now because I really want to do one arms. I really, really want to do them, especially because my friend Brendan is killing them and he's starting to get kind of consistent 6-7 second holds on right and left arm.
That's good.
And I'm watching him going like, damn it, you motherfucker, like don't get ahead of me. But I still think it's probably best for me to focus on kind of just some strength stuff at the moment. So really working on the planche. Basically, main goals are I want to get a stalder for sure, and I would like to get some kind of really deep compression holds. So this is kind of a 7. So imagine you're like that. Your hips are way far back behind your center of gravity, and you're using your legs parallel to the floor to kind of keep that balance. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun doing them, and I'm feeling quite strong. And I'm also doing some endurance stuff, which I forgot how much I enjoyed. So I'll kind of go up for 40 seconds in a stag position or something, come down for 20 seconds of rest, try and go back up for another 40 seconds in a diamond shape, come back down another 40 seconds in a straddle or something like that. And if I can do that, then the next week I'll try and do 45 of those 3 in a row.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's kind of fun getting back into endurance. I forgot how much I miss the burn. When you're just up there, everything's hurting, you're shaking and whatnot, but you're still it's kind of unbelievable. You're just up there and you're like, I don't know how this is not falling down, but hold on.
But you're still holding on. I mean, I've never ever felt that because I've never ever gone to the point that I've done it long enough.
Well, you could probably experience something similar to it if you just went against the wall and just went up to the wall for a minute or two. And
yeah, good point. I have done.
You feel that shaking.
I think the longest wall hold I did was like 3 minutes and 40 something seconds.
So that's
it was
good,
part
man.
of a work.
That's
it was
really
a part
good.
of a workout where you had to accumulate 5 minutes of wall handstanding.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh,
you
I'm
try
just
to
going to see if I can do it in one go. Yeah. So I did. So I know it was 3 minutes and 42 seconds before I had to come back down and then do it in like much smaller sets to get it all the way to 5 minutes.
Dude,
So,
3 minutes for me would be hard. 3 minutes for me would be hard. So yeah,
Oh,
kudos.
dude, it felt like okay. Now, no, if I can recall now, I do remember the shaking when it was like you just kind of like, whoa, god. Okay, yeah. No, that would be fun. Well,
Yeah.
it sounds like you're back into the groove with the training. Has
man,
the
yeah.
elbow actually healed up as well?
Yep, yeah. Elbow's really, really good. This kind of like side little pain I was having is really good. So I'm just being a bit more smarter with my training compared to I was training like I was 25 and I was doing a lot of volume. So I'm being a bit
Training smarter. He's training smarter, folks.
being a bit more smarter. Yeah.
Good.
So,
Oh, sounds like we're firing, man.
yeah, man. Yeah, all cylinders. Both of us doing well. So got some fun stuff to look forward to for the next month. Next month, next year's definitely. So yeah, this is the monthly goals. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you got some inspiration for this. We always like to know how you do your goal setting, what you are aiming for, any of these sorts of things. Best way is to just reach out to us. There's a whole bunch of links down below, and any of those are great to do and use. But we would also just recommend trying out a new podcast app, and that's where you can get some money into the app and send that directly to us as support. There's a value for value show. We just really ask that whatever value you get from it, you send back to us in that manner. So newpodcastapps.com, or if you want to get really fancy and keep your podcasting app that you have now, if you go on to getalby.com, chuck some money into that, and then go to podcastindex.org and go to Mere Mortals, and soon on the website you'll be able to do this, and just go to the Mere Mortals website. You can boost in directly in your browser. So a couple of ways that you can reach out to us, and there'll be some more ways and easier ways in the future as well.
Good.
Excellent. Okay, thank you so much, Juan, for joining me for this, and we'll see everyone for the next round.
Thank you very much, everyone. For now, we're out. Immortalites, one out.
Kyrin out. Yeah.